everybody. Welcome back to the Sketchcraft Shout-Out. This is Rob D, your buddy Sketchcraft, here with my main man, Uncle Jerk.
What's going on, folks?
What's going on? Hey, man, you know what's going on? Invader freaking Zim is what's going on, dude.
Invader Zim's been going on for like 2 decades. This show is like the show that lasted for like 2 seasons, got canceled, came back, and now will never die, despite the fact that the creator hasn't touched it in 10 years. The main guy who did the art got run over by a freaking car and can't draw anymore.
Hey, well, check it out. It doesn't help that I go and draw a comic called Spawn Kills Every Spawn and basically just make an invader spawn, you know, which, by the way, I actually put right there, folks. So when people go, he looks like Invader Zim. No, there's an invader spawn right there. It's legit. So I know, I'm that guy. Okay. Art of Invader Zim. This is actually written by Chris McDonald, but it has basically, is it Jhonen or Jhonen? I always forget. Jhonen?
Jhonen.
So Jhonen Vasquez, creator of Invader Zim, he is in here interviewing, he gets interviewed, he interviews character designers, storyboard artists, colorists, all over the whole gamut. There's a foreword by Rebecca Sugar, who created Steven Universe, if you don't know who that is. The front and back cover is super dope. It's pink. It's got some nice little glossy little UV coatings here. I paid $35 for this on Amazon 2 years ago, in 2022.
Tell them how much it's going for today, Rob. Just like I told you before the show started.
$175. What is going on? I was telling Uncle Jerk, folks, before we started, I was like, hey, let me go see what it costs so I can just tell everyone, what? You know, it's like I zoomed out. I was like, what? So yeah, I'm sorry. The good thing we're gonna go through is just 239 pages. This is a big one. Like look at that. Look at that.
It is bestial.
It's bestial.
And it is beautiful.
Uncle Jerk, tell me, who is Jhonen Vasquez? What is their background? What is their style?
So Jhonen Vasquez is this, like, I would describe him as like an enigma of sorts. Like, he definitely, quote unquote, like air quotes, my hands are doing that, you can't see me, guys, did comics. He did Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, 12 issues of, as it seems, Unfettered Madness, and the art is actually really reminiscent of this black and white stuff that you're seeing
check it out.
throughout here.
Check it out. They got a whole section devoted to it, dude.
Oh, dope. See,
so
okay.
Got Johnny in here. They got Filler Bunny, the Bad Art Collection.
So the big thing, like, that I don't know if anybody like remembers about Johnny at this point is, like, originally Johnny the Little Homicidal Maniac showed up in Jonen's high school newspaper, and then he had Johnny the Homicidal Maniac
right here.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Cool.
Hey everybody, check it out. I am at Uncle Jerk's YouTube channel, and joining me today to tell you all about it is Uncle Jerk.
What's going on, everybody? So why are we looking at my YouTube channel?
We're paying him an exposure, so guess what this is?
But documentaries. I've done everything from interviews and documentaries about Scud the Disposable Assassin, Sam Keith and the Max, Arthur Saidam. If you like my historical input into these videos here, you might find something that really interests you over on my channel. Be warned, they're a little bit longer, but I guarantee you, if it's a subject that truly interests you, you're probably not going to find a more in-depth or analytical dissection of that. I have got some of the funnest interviews. I mean, I still can't believe Kelly Jones talked to me for 7 hours.
7 hours. 7
hours.
We haven't even done 7 hours of this show. So let's get back to it. We gotta get our numbers up, Uncle Jerk. All right? It's enough you time. All right.
I was gonna say it's enough about me. Let's get back to the issue. Oh yeah. And the original Happy Noodle Boy and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac strips, like one-pagers that show up as they're called Meanwhiles in the full-length books. They were published in a goth magazine called Carpe Noctem. Like, Jhonen has done magazine work with the creator of Too Much Coffee Man, Shannon Wheeler. Used to like hobnob with Rob Schraub, who did Scud. and you like hung out with like Ben Edlund, who did The Tick. They were all breaking into the scene around the same time. The big thing is that a lot like Ben Edlund, though, Jhonen went the like character design and kind of Hollywood route. So I think he's probably more well known for stuff like Invader Zim than he is for John the Homicidal Maniac at this point, which is crazy because I think they're in their like 24th printing of the floppies
Nice.
of John and the Homicidal Maniac.
Nice. Yeah, I got the trades, the original trades. I picked up the original trades. I had some of the original issues back in the day as they came out. Hot Topic was the only place you could get it in the mall back in the day. But one of my childhood buddies, he took all that stuff. So these are all like original sketches of Zim when he was like the little Zim boy. You know, he's got like that 50s this do cut. Like if you want to like.
Yeah, he reminds me of Big Boy from Big
Yeah,
Boys. You know.
Yeah. And the kind of humor that like Jhonen does is what I call like that. It's like the obvious, it's the blatant 90s humor where it'll say things like, oh, look, dead in the ground. Or this is like a carcass blender, you know, mulching stuff would be printed on the blender. That kind of humor, which is sort of standard on the internet now, but I never really saw that happening too much in the 80s, you know?
This is like early 90s. And like, I think the like panel that maybe like best encapsulates his humor is like, there's a dude who gets shot in the face at one point, and his head's like mid brain matter coming out of the back of his skull. And like, there's a note that's supposed to be from like the guys, quote unquote, shooting the comic. You know what I mean? Because it's like a movie, and it's like for this shot, we took the actor and made a mold of his head and stuffed it full of dead rats that we put into a blender. Then, for realism, we surprised the actor by shooting him in the face. That's Jhonen.
I like how the brain is a maze right here.
Dude, visually, Jhonen really is what I would call brilliant,
Yes.
and I don't say that lightly.
No, he is truly brilliant. I like all his like normal people, quote unquote normal people.
Normal,
the average,
yeah.
The average citizens, and I even myself, I ran into this kind of like problem on Spawn Kills where it was like, do I draw the people, like how cartoony do I make the people, like how stylized, and he just has like a style that, I mean, like there was a lot of this sort of thing going on around the late 80s, early 90s, like Far Side and you know, those kinds of things. But to me, like he had a way of it being creepy but cool, you know, and like my uncles could be into this, and they would, you know, they're like in their 40s, like 90s 40s, you know what I mean? Not like my 40s.
In my opinion, and I can't say this for sure because I don't know the credits for all the art in this book, but Jhonen has a proclivity to use very simplified shapes and cartooning, but then get very complicated with it. He teamed up with the guy for this show called Roman Dirge, and Dirge played as much of a visual part in simplifying the aspects of Jhonen's stuff that were too complex for animation. And I think he also very heavily informs the cartooning on this.
This is somewhere between the Grinch and Ren from Ren and Stimpy, right?
I think it's both.
Right. Like you could say like totally like that's a Ren face. That's a Ren face. You know, with the little lips. But then and
they're all faces that you can pick out that he's very emotive. Like that's 100%. You know, something I think that Johnny has going on that not a lot of people give it credit for, that sets it way above where it's
and you know
put
you have
on the stands.
You have to go back to cool color chromas keys. You can see all the little spot colors that they have.
Yeah.
And he had that thing that, like, you know, when you always see in the making of the Batman or Batman Returns, you'd see Tim Burton's like sketches for the Penguin, or you know, they never look anything like the movie. But I was like, oh, Jhonen is like doing that, but he's doing whole books You know, like he's making it work like for a whole book and then eventually a whole cartoon.
Yeah, and he was able to take those really weird, rough like Burton sketches and then refine them down to like an actual style.
Right. I love this. I don't like any like perfectly. I like to see how it's bendy. I call it bounded perspective.
Oh, yeah.
It's where it's actually slightly curved. It's not straight. Yeah, and then everything has a curve, and then this has a bound curve, and it's how you get the fake camera to like give you more space, you know, and show.
It also gives shots a lot of personality because depending on how you have that angled, you can like trick the brain into being scared or into adding brevity or space, you know?
Right. And then man, here's what's great is you get there's not tons, but you get a good bunch of storyboards, you know, actually like the Post-its, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the storyboards and you know, coming from a cartoon, or a comic book, Jhonen the Homicidal Maniac, which is quite truly about exactly what it sounds like, a guy that serial murders people and paints his walls in blood, and then going to a kid's cartoon show, it's really interesting to see this jump.
Yeah. But what I like about these shots is that they're defined geometrically very well, but they're also three-dimensional. Like this is a three-dimensional head, even though it's flat, and it's actually like almost the same exact shape when you look at the silhouette, you know. But like if you look at even like Div, like this is shaded, so he's actually three-dimensional, you know. It's
a mastery of shape.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that like. Not only is he visually brilliant, but he's a master cartoonist. Vasquez is truly, I believe, both of those things. Look at that page. Look at that. Yeah. That is just fucking cool. Would you not read a comic that looked like that?
Yeah.
I would.
And it's got like alien writing right there. Like notes might be Japanese, but looks alien to me. It's probably Korean. These are probably Korean notes, and somebody in the comments go, "That's Korean, Rob." I'm like, you know what? They got me on Argentina. They're like, you speak Spanish in Argentina. I'm like, well, now I know. You know, like, you know, I got to hear about potatoes every time I mention I live in Idaho, so I don't want to hear nothing. But yeah, I love these photo stats right here. You know, of the boards with the shape. Like, I just love this stuff. And I love this too, man. These big blown up Post-it like.
Yeah, this is really cool.
I mean, I would just buy a whole book of that, right?
That's what I was just thinking, dude. Like, I would take just a whole book of like of design segments like this or animation segments. Like, dude, oh my god. Because this shows you the brilliance of his shapes, man. Like how much malleability and like expressiveness that there is to these like simplistic designs.
That is so good, dude. That is just the alien curve here, dude. Like. He's got candy corn bag, dude. I love how the bat comes around like a Karate Kid when he wears the shower, right? That's my favorite costume of all. Look, there's the initial sketch for this too. Let me see. Yeah.
Oh, yep. And I guarantee you that was Jhonen, it's like Jhonen, and then someone else came in and they were like, okay, well, how's this? And he's like, yeah, that's what I was going for.
Perfetta. Yeah. You know, at the time this came out, I mean, I was watching Cartoon Network and stuff. I remember I was in Germany first weekend. I got transferred over there and I was watching Mojo Jojo, you know, like, and they were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I love cartoons, bugger off. But when this came out, I was in college and I was like, the Johnny the Homicidal Maniac guy's got a cartoon? Like, could not believe it. You know, and Samurai Jack at the same time. And I was just like, I was like, this is like a second renaissance of cartooning. You know, and it really was. And it disappeared so fast. But here
it lasted, I think, like 18 months.
I know.
At least Samurai Jack stuck around.
Yeah, Samurai Jack stuck around. But this is an interesting, so like you see his face and like he's trapezoidal, almost like a dreidel, you know? But I always saw this being more of like a rounder thing than a flatter. Yeah.
I think that like he has like a Tothian way of seeing and an anatomy underneath stuff that maybe doesn't make sense to a lot of other people.
I ran into this problem on Spawn where it was like I wanted to do way more exaggerated expressions, and it was like you only have so much room unless you like keep the frame the same, or you keep the frame, because when you start moving these into different perspectives, it gets very difficult. You know, you need a flatter, you know, and sometimes, man, I'm not saying who, but sometimes people are like, it's got to be more dynamic. I'm like, not really. If you want it to be funny, sometimes it's got to be flat. You know, you got to be able to move it in 3 dimensions, but to be funny, flatter works better.
Yeah, I
the eyes.
See, yeah, okay.
The eyes were pasted in, dude. you know, to get those circles just derpy enough took a while. You know,
getting his line weights down, because that's one of the things also that I think like really sets the animation and the design on this show apart. The fucking line weights that Jhonen Vasquez uses, and the guy does it. He's not like classically trained. He doesn't do a butt ton of like art and stuff. But like, dude, they're sheer brilliance, and they like accentuate everything perfectly. Look at how small those heads are, and everything is so perfectly defined.
Yeah, I love all this stuff, man. Like these expression sheets you get. It's all gold to me. It's worth $175. I don't know. You know, I didn't pay that, but this is perfect. This platypus suit, so good. You know, they use their tails to build nests and stuff. They're prehensile. Yeah, I watched a video on it the other day. I was like, I did not know that. And then here's all the vowel sounds, the consonants or whatever, like the letters.
Yeah, they're also the only poisonous mammal.
I love these do nots. So we gotta I sometime soon, maybe, you know what, I'm gonna do it next time because fuck it. I got back in the day, Brad Bird did put up a bunch of his notes when he was in charge of character stuff on The Simpsons, and there's a lot of do not draw. I
saw those. Yep.
Yeah, and I still have them like coil bound. You know what I mean? Because like we had them in our animation class, so I thought that'd be fun to go over. But there's a lot of this, awesome. Not like this, not like that, not like that. Like never draw Zim or other Urkin aliens with straight face, squared off teeth. This is reserved for Dib and other humans. What's up, crafties? Spawn Kills Every Spawn, drawn by yours truly, out on shelves now. Issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4, all on the stands. Local comic book shop, you can get them, as well as Amazon, everything else. Plus, on December 18th, 2024, issue 5 drops. Oh my gosh, look, I already have it. It's ahead of time. I got it early for the Christmas season, but December 18th, you can grab it too. And don't forget, if you look on eBay and around, you'll be able to find the Spawn Kills Every Spawn sketch cover. I might even have a few on my store soon with some commissions and drawings and stuff. So get one there. And don't forget about the limited to 500 San Diego Comic Con exclusive edition Spawn Kills Every Spawn issue 1, featuring my line arts. Wouldn't it be cool if they had done all these as secondary covers? But hey, you know, go bother Todd about it. In the meantime, if you want to support me, help pay the bills, please, folks, go to your comic book shop, pick up some Spawn Kills Every Spawn. All right, and now back to the show. When I look at Zim, I see Chuck Jones and I see Chris Felucci, Bob Camp. You know, I see. You probably know some more esoteric names than that. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably some indie shit that I don't know about in the 80s.
We could go way down a fucking rabbit hole there.
Tim Burton's art, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
let's
Tim
just
Burton's
be
art.
honest, dude. Like, Jonah's not trained. He's pulling from places he's seen, guys.
Right. So we all have our. I love these. Look at these. The little grr expression sheets. Yeah.
I just love how well thought out everything is, man. Because, like, I do have to admit that as much as I love this show, I kind of have a salty place in my heart for it sometimes, because it took my Jhonen. Like, I'll never get him back. Like, he's so fucking good at this stuff that, like, and it sucks because, like, this and one other show I know of, we've really got to see some of his work. And like probably 99% of the stuff he'll do for the rest of his life will just be sealed up in fucking vaults and disappear, dude.
I hear what you mean, dude. I love Johnny and Squee and Filler Bunny is probably my favorite. But and Make Me Sick, This Is Sick. The one with the girl.
I Feel Sick.
I Feel Sick. Yeah, that one's actually really good. That's the underrated one in my opinion. But what I love about this is this actually founded on it. And if you look at Has Been Hotel, it's had a giant influence, you know?
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, look how vile she is right there, dude. So
dude, Gaz is like, you have no idea. That's okay. So like, I had a dog named Gurr, my favorite dog I've ever had. My daughter, like, whenever she's an evil little monster, I call her Gaz. I literally, I don't like use my kid's name on.
Her hair is teeth, right? Like it's so good. You know, I always thought this was her hair was, you know, those staple removers.
Oh, yes, yeah. He's obsessed with that shape, it's him interpolating that into Lydia.
Right.
From Beetlejuice.
Yeah. The Beetlejuice cartoon had to have been his jam.
Monstrous.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
Like
No, I mean, it was a monstrous thing, dude. Like Tim Burton was even involved with the designs for that. That's why it's so. Like the thing that weirded me out about Beetlejuice was how much it like tied into the show, and I was like, that. What? Huh?
Yeah, because the Beetlejuice cartoon in this is like a direct through line.
Yeah. It is, yes. Yeah. No, totally. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. Like, if you watch the opening scene from Beetlejuice, the title sequence from the Beetlejuice cartoon even, like, yeah, nah.
But, like, all the Irkin designs, I mean, just the different shapes.
I love his the arms that come out, dude. His, like, this
is the original Iron Spider. Like suit, right?
That's what I was just saying. I was like, the spider arms that like they've ripped off for Civil War.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Stole it. You steal it. I like the weenie hat. Weenie hat's great.
Oh, when they take over the fucking where he did the Weenie King, he becomes the Weenie King.
Did you ever play Psychonauts?
If it's a game, I've never played it.
Man, you gotta play Psychonauts 1 and 2, dude. I'm telling you. You got to do it, dude. You don't like games? Sit down with your daughter, play it. Brilliant. And the character designers on there was this guy named Bagel and Scott Campbell. Not J. Scott Campbell, a guy named Scott Campbell. Clearly, they were like of the same age as Jhonen, you know? So there was like a lot of parallel thinking, you know? But Psychonauts was about a kid that goes to a summer camp for the psychic, you know? And there's all conspiracies and just it's right down this rabbit hole, you know.
These guys right here are some of the best designs that I've ever seen in a cartoon. His parents, dude.
The robot parents?
Yes, the robot parents. The way that they can go from being like, because they are very John Crickfalusi to me. Like, they go from like almost like off-puttingly inviting to utterly horrific.
Right.
And there's so little visual change needed for that. It's like body posturing and like, dude.
They're clockwork oranging the parents' eyes, you know? Like it's.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, they're like that episode where they take Zim in for Parents' Day is like I think my second favorite episode.
You know what also reminded me? Remember in Phantasm, Mask of the Phantasm, the World of Tomorrow robots?
You bet your ass.
Right.
They even do the same little movement.
Right.
God damn, I keep forgetting you guys can't see me. I'm doing stupid movements from the Phantasm cartoon. Imagine that in your head.
These are great. The Citizens of Earth. This is just a fun job. Like, you just design all these extra background. I was doing like stuff for this on Crash 5, and it was my favorite thing to do. I was like, I wish I could have just done more of this on 4 and Spyro. Like, I love just figuring these sort of things out. Punchy, Bunny Brian. Whoever wrote this has excellent handwriting. Santa Scarball, Chainsaw Alex. Right, Super Willie, right? Frankendoot.
Dude, like you could
TV
some of the
Melvin,
names.
TV Melvin. That's
Shunk Wooga. I think.
Hey man, if you ever want to start like one of those like tax havens, like in the Cayman Islands. We should name them after Paperbag Keith. And Abe Lincoln Gretchen will be like those shell company LLCs. They named them all after the citizens of Earth. Yes, sir. Like, this is the kind of designs that are in Psychonauts left and right. Like this stuff, you know? Like, you don't have to play it. Just go and put the long play on when you're drawing or something.
See, that's my thing.
games
Is
play
like I'll just look
movies.
at designs and stuff and read about games.
But the
instead
voice
of
acting
playing
is
them.
Zim. It's the same guy. Like the guy who did Zim
From the Angry Beavers and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, he did the voice of the lead guy, Raz, or whatever.
Oh, that's cool, man. Why can't I remember his name? Because he did Angry Beavers.
Kenny,
and
was it
so much-
Kenny or Mike Kenny or something like that? So all these background characters that you never see all have names. Smoochie, Flonk, Ninji, John, Swoozy, Stino, Michelle, Spencer. So good. Floyd. Look, there's Jhonen.
They constantly would throw him into like big crowd scenes and stuff. At one point, I believe they had him eaten by a monster, and then they had to later like make some excuse that like he actually didn't die. There's a hilarious note at the end of that episode. It's like nobody was harmed in the making of this.
Huge monstro, kind of looks like Eric Larson with hair.
I was gonna say the head, yes. I don't know about the. That's a hell of a
Yorg has
gut.
like this. Look at the spine on Yorg. Jimmy Smits. Jimmy Smits. They were watching Attack of the Clones when they came up with that joke. I knew it. So Stank. That's hilarious. Eric Impossible.
I can't imagine how long people spent on these. Just pages and pages.
And we're
man.
giving him a good glow up right here, buddy.
Well, no, but it's really cool to see him reprinted in book form because so much of this stuff, and it's cool to see them in perspective, like visual perspective, even like this rough stuff in visual perspective to Zim.
Right, the height differential.
Yeah,
This one kind of looks
you
like
know.
Randall from Clerks.
I
Slink.
give you that, yeah.
Brian Colin. That's hilarious. Crunch Muffin. Granny Chaos. But I mean, like, there's a spread right there, right? I wonder what these ones were blanked out. I wonder what was behind these.
I don't know.
those had to be the inappropriate humor. You know?
Exactly. That's
Had to be.
that's exactly what I was just
Yeah.
thinking. It's like knowing Jhonen, like God only freaking knows what he brought in. Like no, and no.
I like this. This is clever. Sherm, Derm, Lerm, and Germ. The alien family, right? Pig Boy. Pig Boy's right.
I love Pig Boy. Not as much as Eric the Blob, though. Like Eric the Blob, for whatever reason, is one of my favorite designs from that show.
Dookie Beast is pretty good. I like this one's called Alien 3, you know? It's kind of like the lamest alien, like the movie. Monster Santa, though, I am a fan of. I love this. Man, we should have... So two things. One, we should have an Invader Zim. You know the guys that did Castle Crashers? You ever see that game? Alien Hominid. I always hope those guys would have made an Invader Zim game. But we should have like a beat 'em up Konami, you know, Turtles 4 style.
It
Zim game
actually
by now.
surprises me on a
Yeah.
deep level that we don't have an Invader Zim game. Now, for anybody who does not know, like Rob and I are not exactly what I would call spring chickens. Now, we ain't like, like 90 years old or nothing, but we ain't spring chickens. And like he said, like this was on when he was in college. I might not have been in college, but I maybe should have been going to college when this
Right.
started. And like, this shit is still around. I kid you not, my daughter came up to me yesterday when I picked her up from school and was like, oh man, somebody was talking about my Melanie Martinez jacket. And if you don't know who that is, exactly. And she was like, but the cool thing was she had on a Zim hat. And I was like, see, yeah, that's so cool.
My niece finally got married last year, and I went all dressed up in Zim shit, you know, to the ire of her parents. Yeah. Not her parents,
just
her
great.
grandparents.
My kid's 9. So it's like,
check this out, dude. This is dope. This is Zim's skull. He did a skull drawing, dude, with notes.
Wow, that's actually really see, and that's why we'll never see another comic from Jhonen Vasquez ever again.
Well, I don't know if he did these. I mean, there was character designers, you know what I mean?
Well, no, but I'm saying the level of thought that he gets out of people, that he puts into these projects, you will never see him again. Ever.
Yeah, Brian Konietzko drew these.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I have no doubt that Jhonen drew about 1% of what we're seeing on the screen. The very least amount of
it's too much work for one person to do. I mean, I just
but he's very like he's not. He doesn't lie about that either. He doesn't want to draw anything. He's Michael Golden. If he doesn't have to draw it, he basically doesn't draw it.
All these character guys they're so good. Yeah, my animation teacher in college wanted us drawn, like, because he was a Disney guy, so we had to go down the Glen Keane path, and I was like, man, I'm more of a Nickelodeon guy, you know, like the Nickelodeon didn't want, you know, the band Nickelodeon guy. That's my jam.
John Lucy.
I look without the problems, right? Just the art, you know.
I meant the good part of that one, not the bad part. I'm sorry.
The artistic part, not, you know. But this is fantastic. I love this. You know, so simple, but I love it. You know?
And like another guy that I don't hear a lot of people look at. Tell me that doesn't look like Evil the Cat.
And it is Evil the Cat. I thought that was for a second. You got me on that one. This book is fantastic, folks. I mean, look, just these long. Look at these long layouts. I don't know if you're not into layouts, man. I love them. You know.
I love layouts, and like I'm a guy that like a lot of people make fun of because like I don't like Looney Tunes stories. Like I was deeply fucking disturbed by Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner growing up. It upset me, like made me angry. But the background paintings were so beautiful. I could just like look at them. And like Zim is one of the few things contemporaneously that I do remember being able to do that with, which is saying something because I really don't like computer aided animation, especially not cell frame stuff. So, but it's a gorgeous show. Like and it's inspired a comic series too. You know, the comics went on for years. I think it's over now, but it went on.
Yeah, it went 50 issues. Years. Yeah, I got them all, dude. Like the collected and the original hardcover. We're gonna cover that. This should have made a Zim coloring book out of this kind of stuff.
I would be hard pressed to believe that they didn't at some point.
I want to see it, folks. Is there a Zim coloring book? If there is, send it to me. I want it.
If there is, send it to me. If not, make it and send it to me.
Yeah, and then this right here, the pencils, you know.
See, that's gorgeous, man. And there's another, like, just their use of perspective and like warping stuff to make it look so fucking scary and aggressive. Like that's the brilliance of this show.
A lot of work, and it's not drawn in half and mirrored. It's not
no. That is a masterfully done layout, and there were a billion people this talented that worked on this show. Like, and I'll keep saying his name because I just don't hear people talk about him. But Roman Dirge, who also worked with Jhonen at his comic publisher, Slave Labor Graphics, was a big part of what made this show so successful. And unfortunately, he was hit by a car and can't even do art anymore. So, yeah, I was heartbroken. You know, a lot of people wondered why Enter the Florpus was so different. And two big reasons is that Jhonen, who was not involved whatsoever with, interestingly, so like if you do go and you're like, oh, okay, I don't know what Zim is. God forbid you don't know what Zim is. And you get on Netflix, because that's what people just do now. You're going to only find Enter the Florpus. And you need to understand there's like 15 years in between the show and Enter the Florpus, which is the movie.
I do like it though.
I'm not saying it's bad. It is inferior. Definitely. Visually, story-wise,
is worth the price of admission.
I know it's inferior. Like, that is not how to get into Zim. Watching episodes of Invader Zim is how to get into Zim. Right. That's, and then Enter the Florpus is like your candy at the end. It's the butter your popcorn. You know what I mean? It's not the popcorn. And it is Jhonen Vasquez. It's his comedy. Whereas the show, very quickly, you start seeing a few names pop up repeatedly, and Roman Dirge is the biggest part of that. And because of what happened to him, he was absent from the show, from Enter the Florpus. So it does have kind of a different flavor. Even the art is slightly different. And God, these are wonderful layouts.
You don't know much about. We're gonna do a whole thing on Peter Chan. Soon. Peter Chan was a background layout artist at LucasArts, right? He's worked everywhere, but he's primarily known for LucasArts. He did all the stylized backgrounds for the LucasArts Maniac Mansions, the Day of the Tentacles, and he took over lead on like Full Throttle and Grim Fandango, and like his layouts for Psychonauts very much down this path, and there's just tons of them to look at, bro. And this is back in the day when they used to pay a person to high render these things, right? They had that Lucas money. This is such a great design, dude. Like going into did, right, with the brain and his intestines and all this stuff, man. Like honestly, if I were doing Zim shirts, I would find a way to get this on a shirt.
Dude, oh my God, that creeps me the hell out. I was just getting ready to be like, I want to let him finish and be like, God damn it, why didn't you put this on a fucking shirt, Rob?
Never got to work on Zim. Never. That's one.
I was just giving you shit, but I mean, it was hilarious because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Never got to work on Zim.
That's crazy. Well, Zim was basically tied up. And another thing that I think people probably shouldn't hold against Zim, if you're not familiar with it, is a lot of people are going to be like, hot topic. Dude, it was associated by brand because of Jhonen Vasquez and Jhonen the Homicidal Maniac long before Hot Topic became the like co-opted goth emo mall thing that we know of today. So don't hold that against the show either, because it's not just
is how I was able to get Johnny the Homicidal. So I give a lot of credit to Hot Topic.
I do. They had a lot of great. They carried like shirts from him. They made him a household name.
What if people don't know about Hot Topic though, dude, right? Is that they pay top dollar.
Yeah, it allowed him to not have to do shit for years.
Right.
To live on residuals, to go out and like make a career. How did a guy go from making a comic book called Jhonen the Homicidal Maniac and then doing sequels, Squee, which is about his neighbor who's a little kid that watches him murder a bunch of people. Right. I Feel Sick, which is about a woman that he goes on a date with and tries to murder and then has to psychologically deal with the ramifications of that. How did he go on to make a Nickelodeon show? Well, I'll tell you, Hot Topic. That's it.
Merchandise. And it's a real bummer.
Yeah.
There was these really great Zim toy sets that were being put together, amazing. and I pre-ordered all of them, and then COVID happened and everything got canceled, and they've never come back. I pre-ordered those instantly, full price. You know what I mean?
I still don't know how those never got remade though. Like I don't know how that hasn't gotten kickstarted, man. Because how is Invader Zim out of print on DVD though? Like, look at the cost of those DVDs.
Yeah, the only thing I got is I got the little Gur figure that came in there because I got the house set, the DVD that comes in the house.
Oh yeah, the like $400 set. God,
is it $400?
Oh, dude, if you have a good condition of that, they were like $200 like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I got the house, dude. The top opens up and Gur
Yeah,
sits in there.
yeah.
I know. Wouldn't you love to see Jonen's like take on Mega Man, Dr. Wily and stuff, dude?
Wouldn't you love to see Jonen's take on like anything? Wouldn't you just love to see his brother do something?
His brother, in his earliest comics, where his brother would buy the Turtles comics, and I'm like, man, I just want Jhonen to do the Turtles movies, you know? Because
like his animated, dude, his animated, dude, that short that he did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is without a doubt like, but right behind the intro animation to the original.
Right.
That is the
Peter
best
Chung,
animation
the Peter
that will
Chung
ever
intro is the best.
Yes,
but that Donnie versus Raph, they actually speak. So. Like,
but you know what I mean, like, and the fact that I can say it competes with opening animation from something like that of that quality in the 80s, like, holy crap.
This is all I ever like did, this kind of stuff in blue pencil back in college, and I loved it. And it just pained me, like, when this stuff had to get inked. You know, I was like, can't we just print the comic like this? Like, can't we just, you know, people can't read into it. And I'm like, maybe I don't want them. I don't know, man. Like, I just love this. Maybe because we're artists, you know.
Have you seen the, did you see the Art Adams book that he did that's called Blue Line? That's all his work like that?
No, you got that?
I don't, but it's fairly cheap. Do you guys, I will pick it up. It's fairly cheap. I think it's like $15. I quit smoking, so I'm going to let myself buy a book every couple of weeks, and I'll do that. That'll be my contribution.
This is why there should be a video game, dude. This would be a perfect little level, you know, like. And
again, this is another reason why 20 years later we're talking about Invader Zim.
This is not easy to draw, man. These treads and stuff, dude, all in pencil, guys. Like, did they credit the designer? They don't credit the designer here. It's a real shame. Whoever did this really needs probably, I don't know. Probably that's why I'm just like, okay, this person is my hero. Whoever drew this, I would love to interview whoever designed this stuff. These backgrounds, find them. Like, this is just, it's shit. I mean, it's Metroid, it's Alien, you know, it's Tim Burton, you know, and it's its own thing too. It's just like, I just love this so good.
I love, there is stuff like this in every shot of Invader Zim throughout, you know, and it's a very limited show too. Right. Like, it's not like they had $1 billion.
You can tell when the artists love what they're doing when you get this kind of stuff. You get this stuff from people who love it. Like, this is so like Cool World, but better than Cool World, you know? Yeah. I worked on this mini comic for 2 seconds in college with these girls, and very, very good designers. They wanted me to do the backgrounds, and I was drawing like this, you know, and they fired me for drawing too good. Like, we don't want to draw over that. You know, I was like, come on, girls. You know, like, this is.
Wow.
I know, I got fired for doing too good a job. I was like, all right.
That's rough.
I always say, because I was at Comic-Con once and they were in line, and I was like, hey, that's the first people who ever fired me from an art job. I called them out, dude. I had this group of people like, you fired? And I was like, come on, no, it's fine, guys. I'm just being a dick. Yeah. Great curvilinear shot here. Excellent.
Oh, that's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, it's my jam. It's my jam!
See, we need more books like this, guys. If you enjoy these kind of books, it sucks. Like, I'm going to start trying to do a better job of, like, keeping up with stuff that's coming out so that we're not doing, like, not to hammer on Rob, but, like, so we're not just doing, like, old $200 art books too, you know, like, so you guys can.
I did not pay $200. No, I bought this when it was new, just so you know, I'll have it. That's great. They have. I didn't know.
No, I know, but it's like it pains me when we look at these books, and it's like, because one of the books that I wanted to look at, right, was like, I really want to look at the Art of Marvel vs. Capcom. The book is $250 for a soft cover.
Right.
The hell. Like, dang it. So we're going to start looking at, so that's why I'm getting that Arthur Adams preliminary book, because it's like $15.
There's digital scans, and we'll be doing shows with those, because I'm not paying, you know.
Oh yeah, you bet your
I ain't the first person on the internet to do a digital scan show of a Capcom book, you know. But yeah, like I tried to do more stylized colors for the world building on spawn kills, but Todd has like a rule. He's like, only fantasy worlds can have colored skies, bud. You know, God, you know. So I was like, what? Like, this is one part I disagreed with him. I was like, Spawn, like, all right, man. You know, I'm not gonna argue with Todd McFarlane, but it's like, I just didn't agree.
Don't worry, I'll do it for you, bud. It's okay.
No,
I can do it.
Yeah, he'll just get someone else to change it, you know. But it's like, hey, he's paying for it.
Fuck it, yeah,
yep. He's paying for it. But like these back, it's a little tough sometimes because they're a little. There you go. Like, there's so much packed in. I think this is like really when people tell me, you know, Rob, you put a load of work in your backgrounds. I'm like, no, I don't. This is what I'm trying. You know, I just want that in a comic. And then when I do it, they get all like bothered because there's no focal point. I'm like, there's not supposed to be the focal point. It's the world. You know, the world looks like this. That's the world they're in.
Oh yeah, you're blurring lines, man. You're bringing in stuff from animation and video games.
Evil. It's so good.
It scares people. They don't understand it.
He lived in the toilet for 15 years, right?
That's my favorite shit, dude. He hides in the fucking toilet when he comes up. Oh man.
This is why I could not do animation. I'm gonna tell you right now, folks. This is why. This is called an X sheet or an exposure sheet, right?
Oh my God. They have exposure sheets in here.
Now, let me tell you how this works. These are supposed to be the frames, right? And you got like, they're doing these on 2s. The way they're doing these on 2s. These go up to 15, so that's a little weird. I'm familiar with that. So I'm gonna say these are on 1s would be 24 frames, 2s would be 12s. I've never seen 15 exposures, so I don't know what that means. But someone will have to tell me that. But here's dialogue mouth. And so like a director, when someone says they directed an episode, what they're really doing are these exposure sheets. It means they're timing all the animation out for all the stuff, all these scenes. And these are supposed to be like, this happens and it all goes through. I could not do this. Could not do this. I could not draw to an exposure sheet because this is all timed down. You have to get like a stopwatch and you gotta like, you know, and you gotta like, and I just couldn't do it. I would freehand my animation, you know?
Bro, it's hellish.
I just couldn't do it. And some people, whoever can get this can survive. It's not even the amount of work, it's the exposure sheets. Could never break my head around the idea of it, you know? I tried so hard. I can't do it. I love this zoom in shot, you know, like here to here. So good.
Dude, I love those hand dry. Man, I wish we got more of those hand rendered color guides.
Yeah, I know. These are all just effects animations. And, you know, I wonder, they don't say, I wonder if Michael Gagne did anything on Zoom. He's like the dude in effects animation. So if you guys ever seen like Iron Giant, you've seen his explosions. He did a whole game called Insanely Twisted. Shadow Planet. Shadow Planet. He did the book was Insanely Twisted Rabbits, but the game was like Shadow Planet, Insane Twisted Shadow Planets or something. So like this is so good. It kind of just reminds me of like, remember the concept art for Burton's Superman Lives with like Brainiac and everything?
Yeah, that was so awesome. Yeah.
Planet Schmoopy.
I love how cool that is Jeff Darrow level badass. And they're like, Planet Schmoopy. Like that's the man, Zim was just
this design
on another level,
perfect, dude. It's just perfect. You know?
It's so cool, but it's simple. You know what I mean?
It's the best cartoon I had seen since the first Batman animated series, you know. For me.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that, bro. Yeah. Totally, I would give it that.
There's a lot of great stuff, but this beats all of them.
Yeah.
Everything's designed, it has its own look, its own attitude.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. It reminded me a lot of like Duckman and stuff from like back in the day that just never quite got its due.
So these are all like the descriptions of every episode, which were 27 episodes total, 28 if you include Enter the Florpus.
Yeah, like next to nothing. And I think like not even all of those ended up airing. I think at least 4 of those ended up airing out of order, with the Christmas special being like 6 months late after the show had been canceled.
And this is all the stuff from the comic.
Oh, cool. Okay, so they do have a section on it. See, and okay, guys, so like What's cool here is now Uncle Jerk has never read the comic because I just don't do license or franchise comics. They never add anything. They're never fucking canon.
Jhonen wrote the first few though. That's what Florpus comes from.
I totally believe you. I totally believe you. Don't care. Not interested. Never will
on the
be.
Show, so get used to it. Like,
well, no, but I'm just saying, like, not interested. Right. Never will be. Like, is he going to keep on? No. Did he draw it? No. But those look just like Johnny, the homicidal maniac. That is really cool.
Like, man, I wanted to do more wild stuff like this, but
there's no way you're getting away with this at anything that's like Image or Marvel.
Image and Todd have very specific rules about page layout that I had to I had to adhere to. I got very little notes, but it was, big focal image, blah 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 blah.
See, and that because like that left page is beautiful. Because you do have a centralized image right in the middle there, and it pops.
But that's not what he's talking
like
about.
A play on the 12-panel page. Okay, so like that's the both worlds.
He's not happy.
But people are scared of what they don't understand. You know what I mean?
It's not. I don't worry about what I can't do. I just need to know what I can't do so I can move on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm just saying, like,
other rules,
those are indie sensibilities. Those are not Marvel, DC, Image. You won't see that stuff in their comics.
Yeah. But to their credit, they kept this up in these the Oni Press comics pretty well. Dude, they even did pixel art covers, dude. This one's all pixels, hard pixels.
They did a lot of great covers.
Yeah.
I'm not trashing on the series.
This should be a game. Should be out already. We should be on like.
It should be, and I wonder why it's not.
This pixel art Gaz is so great, dude. Full pixel arted logo. Yeah, it's Nickelodeon, dude. At the end of the day, someone at Nickelodeon doesn't want it to happen, or there's some profit sharing thing they don't want to pay a guy out. I mean, and that's just a fact. So, like, when I was dealing with Marvel, for the longest time, I wasn't allowed to do anything that had to do with Deadpool or Gambit, anything that paid an Image guy. All right.
Oh yeah, Cable. Bishop, they changed the name of series to have to not pay Rob. And so totally.
Finally, Walmart stepped in on it and was like, "We're pulling everything if you don't give us Deadpool stuff now." So, but that's what it is sometimes these guys just go, we don't want to pay someone, but it's going to make you money, make everyone, well, we don't want them to get paid. So that's really it, what it comes down to.
I would believe that if Zim wasn't still so prolifically licensed. I
know, that's what I'm saying. Someone out there has to have pitched this as a game. Though. Somebody.
I know, and I'm wondering, like, there has to be a...
Look at this. Look at these layouts are so good, dude. And
I love the monkey painting on the wall.
And the big monkey painting.
I love the monkey painting, dude.
And
I don't know why.
This is all from Inner the Florpus, but it was really good. I still like Inner Florpus.
It's not bad, but again, guys, it is like it's the butter on the popcorn.
I'll take this over Moana too. You know what I mean? Like any day of the week, bro. So.
Watch the show. It's good.
And then you got storyboards from storyboard thumbnails. These are all. Let's zoom in on some of these.
And look at the quality shift from the show, the show to these, like totally different.
I know.
Totally different,
So
not bad, but so different.
It's just you got a different crew, different people. They have different ways of working.
Yeah, because Roman Dirge, the guy who's like mainly, responsible for everything past like maybe episode 2 or 3, and in a lot of respects, like handicapped, mentally, physically gone. So,
maybe they should have got Basil Wolverton or.
God damn, that would have been amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a huge Wolverton fan. Basil is a badass.
You guys are all scenes from.
Good shot, good perspective usages though, man. Yeah. Like down that alleyway.
This exceeds the cartoon. This shot right here, though. This is where you're getting your money's worth,
I was gonna say, I like, it's like Akira level detail there.
So good, dude.
It's painfully.
I want.
Why do you?
Like, you remember Simpsons Hit and Run? You know what I mean? Like, I want a nice racing game in here. It's like Crazy Taxi, but with Zim.
The color palette shifted pretty heavily on Florpus too.
Well,
it's just interesting. They
anytime,
really leaned into that neo-fluorescent palette.
Purple, pinks, blues. Yeah.
Well, the first, I mean, like, this season has it. It's just, it's like everything's like fluorescently, like everything. It's got like hue, like a glow now, man. It's not bad.
Digital coloring's come a long way since.
I was gonna say it's not bad. I'm just noticing, like, looking at this art, I'm like, oh, that's a big tonal shift, you know.
But there were a lot more browns in the original show. Browns and greens and yellows.
Greens and yellows, especially. It looks like they just jumped yellow at like. This looks totally like Ren and Stimpy to me. Like Spumco.
It's not. Like, the problem is there's no dry sponge. You can't with the Bill Ray backgrounds on.
Yeah. Totally okay. Yeah. No, but I meant the colors. But yeah. No. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
I just
far too defined.
When they turn into puppets into the Florpus for like 2 seconds, man. Like, I love this. That alone. Then they cut to the storyboard shot. This is the Hitchhiker's guy where they go through different like realities. Yeah. It's so good. And that's it, man. These are all the people who worked on this stuff.
That's cool. They have everything broken down on the back. I wish that they had credits on every page, like.
And look, that's the series credits, by the way. This is all series credits, and these are the movie credits. So very good, you know, keeping everyone got their day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
Everyone gets their day.
Man, I wish they had pages listed or something though, like a glossary.
Man.
Really
sometimes
nice.
they don't know though. You know, just so many hands get involved. Quick question: you got any final thoughts, Uncle Jerk? Any final thoughts on the Art of Invader Zim? Anything else?
I would say that Invader Zim is, I think, something that, along with Squee, I feel sick. Not necessarily Filler Bunny. That's not going to be for everybody. But also, I think it's fun. But it's not going to be for everybody. So I'm not going to lump it in there.
It's for me.
Jhonen the Homicidal Maniac. You know, and if Rob gives the comic a pass, I'm going to go ahead and give it my pass too. So maybe throw that in there, but I feel sick. Squee, Jhonen the Homicidal Maniac. These comics are overlooked because they're quote unquote edgelord stuff, because of language, because of violence, because a lot of things that I think I also am not drawn to in books. Rises above that. It's much better than you would ever think. If you haven't given it a shot, it's widely available. You can watch it on like YouTube, Prime, a ton of stuff. Give it a shot. Check out these shows, read these books, get into this stuff. I guarantee you that it will open up a whole new vein of like creators, comics, cartoons, all. And if you're into video games, obviously, like Rob's like naming off all of this stuff that's like, you know, you can find games that are reminiscent of this, you know, voice actors that have worked on this stuff is reverberating throughout pop culture 25 years later for a very good reason.
It's
super appreciate it. It's awesome. I appreciate Rob bringing this up because I missed this book when it came out and I didn't have $200 to pick it up. So thanks for letting me look at it.
It's right there.
Those are my final thoughts, and that I will scream at you.
And remember, folks, be bold and keep cartooning. Peace. What's up, crafties? Make sure you follow me, Sketchcraft, at YouTube and Instagram and everywhere else on socials, as well as Jerk Comics on YouTube and on Instagram and all the other socials. You can also check out my stuff at sketchcraft.com, so you can find my art, and you can buy my stuff at shopsketchcraft.com. If you'd like to get some comics I've made, Spawn Kills Every Spawn, issue 1 through 4 on racks at all your comic book shops right now. Issue 5 out December 18, 2024. And the trade paperback coming to you July 29th, 2025, all the way next summer, but we're going to have cause to celebrate. Spawn Kills Every Spawn. Go get that right now. Support the old Sketchcraft, and we'll see you next time. Peace.